Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel where I talk about movies. And today I'm going to begin a short series of discussions of recent Blu-ray releases here in November of 2023. I'm going to start off with one that's really hot off the presses. This is a Flicker Alley release that they have titled French Revelations. It just came out on the 24th, I think last Friday. I got it in the mail, and so this is the following Monday. This is Flicker Alley's sub label, which they call Flicker Fusion. So Flicker Alley titles can be kind of pricey. This was only $19.99, the Fusion titles. They do come with commentaries in a book and a little fold out, so it's not bare bones. So the first film is Fanfare d'Amour, and Fanfare of Love, and this is notable for being the progenitor of Billy Wilder's classic comedy Some Like It Hot. And the second film, which I'll talk about in a couple days, Mauvaise Grain, and this is Bad Seed. And this is also notable as regards to Billy Wilder, because this is his first movie. This is the first movie he ever directed. So Fanfare d'Amour was remade in 1951 in Germany, and that was the film that is cited by Billy Wilder in the credits, I think suggested by a story by the writers of that 1951 German remake. He did not acknowledge Fanfare d'Amour as the source of Some Like It Hot, but it's certainly the story for the most part, because we have two down and out musicians who they can't find a job, they barely surviving in the Depression era. And so in order to get jobs, they have to masquerade. So we see them masquerading in a gypsy band, masquerading in an all-black band, and then in a Cuban band. So they don't, and then they decide, they see a poster for an all-girl band, and this all-girl band is short two players that have gotten married or they're going to have a baby, so they're desperate for two musicians. And so when these two musicians, male musicians, discover that, well, why not? Could we masquerade as a woman? Could we play in an all-women band? But they're immediately accepted. And this is the Dutch Tulip Orchestra that they join. And this is, strangely enough, I never knew about this, but all girl bands or all women bands, they were the rage in the 1920s and 30s. It was very common in the US and in Europe. So they're quickly accepted, but there's all kinds of obvious, and there's a long sequence on a train, just like in Billy Wilder's movie. But there's no gangsters, so Some Like It Hot, I'm sure just about everybody's listening to this has probably seen Some Like It Hot. It opens with the same Valentine's Day massacre, and Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon are hiding in this garage, and then the gangsters discover that they have witnessed this massacre, so they go on the run. So in Some Like It Hot, musicians who are also down and out are also in peril from being discovered by the gangsters, which adds an extra layer. I always thought that opening gangster, that massacre scene was kind of out of place in a comedy, but it really, when you look back on it, it really does add another layer, and not just a layer of peril, but also another layer of comedy. So, and then as in Some Like It Hot, we have romances develop quickly. So the Tony Curtis character in this film, we don't have Marilyn Monroe, but we got a really beautiful woman who is part of this tulip band, and they become friends. But then when they're not performing, he dresses in his normal clothing, and then they develop a romance, and as well. So, and then the Jack Lemmon character, he there's no relationship with Joey Brown, but there is a relationship with the female lead's girlfriend. And it's really hilarious. There's touches from Ernst Lubitsch, Renee Claire, Busby Berkeley when they do a sort of like mini Busby Berkeley dance routine. I had never heard of the director before. His name was Richard Poitier. And in this film, there's lots of long takes. There's elaborate crane shots, tracking shots, in which the comedy can really develop. Richard Poitier was basically a genre director. He did not have much critical acclaim from what I've read. He ended up in the 1960s. I think his last two films were sword and sorcery films that were popular then, and one of them stars Roger Moore. The main actor, who is really good in this movie, who I had never seen before, and this is the only picture I have of him here. This is Richard Garvey, or Richard Garvey, and he was a big star in France at the time. He was educated in England, so he spoke English fluently, and Hollywood brought him, he was brought to Hollywood, and he appeared in a number of films in Hollywood, sort of like the Louis Jourdan type parts. And after the war, he continued on his career, and he did appear in some English language films, including and the one that popped out at me was William Wyler's How to Steal a Million with Audrey Hepburn. So he's very good. The female lead is Betty Stockfield, and she's really good, and she's really beautiful. And I only have one little shot here of her, and this is her here with her girlfriend in her tulip outfit. Not very good shot, and it's not focusing well, but she plays sort of the Marilyn Monroe part. Also educated in England, so after the war she alternated back and forth between French movies. She was in quite a few English television shows as well. Totally new to me. Now, the one actor I did know, this was the only one, was Julien Carré, and I know him. Again, not a very good shot. And this is he there. And you might, if you've ever seen The Rules of the Game, he was known, as a lot of French actors often did, they billed themselves by one name, and Carré's, I think, is how he's billed for The Rules of the Game. He plays the poacher who becomes a house servant, and his antics result in the frantic farce chase scene all through the mansion. In Rules of the Game, he was also in The Grand Illusion for Renoir. I have to mention the actress, whose name isn't going to mean anything probably to anybody, but her name was Madeline Griffey. She plays the elderly. She's in the band, but she's sort of the leader of the band, and she keeps an eagle eye on her all-girl band members because they have to stay on the virtuous trail. They can't. And she is enormous in girth. She is hilarious. She's just extraordinarily hilarious. And she only had a couple more films to make. So we get a commentary here by August Ventura, and he opens his commentary by saying that he watched this film with several other film experts, and so it's going to be like a curated commentary where the commentary will include the information that he got in this conversation that he had with fellow film historians. So it sounds great, like it's going to be great, but it's largely disappointing. I mean, he does give you some very useful information, to be sure, but there's long gaps where nothing is said, and then as the film goes on, as so many of these commentaries do, he starts describing what we're seeing on the screen. And we do get a really nice essay in this fold-out, criterion-like fold-up by Richard Newport. And this essay is really good and really puts the film into its proper context. And for us, for sure, we're going to watch this as film buffs and compare it to Billy Wilder's what is often considered one of the great film comedies of all time. And certainly Wilder and his screenplay, I.A.L. Diamond, come up with ideas that you know, exceed the Fanfare d'Amour. What's interesting is there's a bunch of screenwriters on Fanfare d'Amour, and one of them, no one has ever, I forget what his name was, but no one has ever discovered who this other screenwriter was. And there are rumors that Billy Wilder, who was in Paris at the time, I spent a year in Paris, and there is some speculation that Billy Wilder contribute something to the screenplay of Fanfare d'Amour. It's interesting to think about. Okay, so this is, you know, we're obviously seeing this because of Some Like It Hot, or this is being released because of Some Like It Hot, but it's a funny film. And, you know, kudos to Flicker Alley for bringing this over. It's a beautiful restoration that was done by Lobster Films in France. So I'm very much looking forward to Maurice Green, Billy Wilder's debut film, which I'll discuss in a couple of days. Okay, thanks a lot for everybody who managed to listen today. Do appreciate it. Comments are welcome. Take care.